Hello and welcome to Systemize Your Success. I'm Dr. Steve Day, and today I'm joined by Norman Ortiz. He is the innovative mind behind App Studio, which is an awesome platform that empowers small and micro business owners to create awesome apps to be able to promote their businesses all effortlessly from your own mobile. So the question is this: how do entrepreneurs like us who don't have an endless supply of cash, how do we leverage the best apps, virtual assistants, automation tools and systems to scale our businesses, increase our profits and have more time to do what we love to do each day? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name's Dr. Steve Day and this is Systemize Your Success. I'm excited about this conversation because this is something that I have thought about doing for quite some time and always wondered how the hell one goes about doing it. So this is one of the reasons I actually got you on the show, Norman, to quiz you from my personal gain about how one would go about this, but also because I think this is a super interesting topic that I'm sure many of our listeners will be very interested to hear about. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve.
Cool. So Norman, do you want to just kick us off? Give us a sort of 1 minute history behind why you started this company. What was the big challenge in the world that you see? What difference you're hoping to make, and why you do what you do, basically.
Yeah, sure. So back in the day, I used to be a developer, and I wanted to start offering my clients a way of building an app for the business. Right. I used to be doing websites and the typical social media things. I couldn't find anything easier for me to build something quickly without having to learn new languages. And I used to be a developer, but I wasn't at the time, no longer a developer. And I decided, because I couldn't find anything, I decided to just do it myself and find the team to build what I had envisioned of building an app without effort, without code, without no design skills, and be super quick and super easy for like a regular business owner, which is already pretty busy in their day-to-day jobs.
Cool. What kind of apps are we talking about here? Like what type of businesses do you work with, and what kind of things do people build?
Yeah, so I found that most of the businesses that I have been helping and working with are always in a similar need and in a similar type of apps that they're looking for, and it's pretty much to marketize their business, right? They want to advertise their business and not necessarily make an app to either make a game out of it or make a tool out of it. Kind of like Uber is a tool, right? You order something that someone gets to your home. But in this case, for small business owners and micro businesses, it's mostly to expose what they're doing, get new orders, get new customers, retain customers, have loyalty programs in them, notify when they are new items or special promotions or whatever. So that's the kind of apps that we wanted to tailor to. Not any type of app. There's so many different types of apps that could be done, and so different between them.
Okay, yeah. So sort of for existing clients, retention, loyalty clubs, that type of thing. I know just before we started, you were talking about bricks and mortar businesses, so yoga studios and events. I know there's a couple of other things you mentioned. Like what I guess the flip side of that is, what type of app or what type of business is this not suitable for?
It's not suitable for anyone that is looking to build an app that is meant to be a tool or a product by itself. And it's not meant for people that are looking to make an app for like a game, to create a game.
Okay. Like what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if I'm trying to think of an example just so I can really understand what it would lend itself to. But if you had if you wanted to drive something, so create an app which for example, a recruitment app, and you wanted to actually build something which people would be able to apply for jobs through that you posted, etc., or like with an application form that has a database in the back end. Am I right? It's not that kind of thing. It's more about actually the front end of a business promoting a like almost like a cool dynamic web page, but a website, but on your mobile. Is that right?
Right. It doesn't mean that it cannot be done what you just said, like a recruiting app or a realtor app that is you're constantly showing different houses, but it will be more time consuming the way that is currently the platform. Doesn't mean that it can grow to that point, but the way that the platform is built is that it has to be content that the user is providing, not feeding from a database or an API source at this moment. So in that case, if you have, let's say, 10 job postings and you're a recruiter, you could do it manually and put those 10 PDFs or links to those jobs, but you have to manually take them down when it's already uh, assigned to someone, or you want to add a new one. You just have to do it manually all through your phone at any time. So that's very convenient. But if you have thousands, right, you might need to have like a database or somehow a connection to a source. And
Yeah.
we can
Okay.
do that as well. We build custom screens for type of this situations like this one, that like a client say, hey, I have 80%, 90% of my app with your platform, but I do need this screen that needs to be connected to Salesforce or need to be connected to something, and we can build it for them. Just that screen, which is way cheaper than just building a whole app.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. So you could have something like a form, for example, that for whether it's for lead generation or basically taking information for. I'm trying to think if I guess this is the question I'm asking myself is the app for say could I create the app which then other people use on their devices for themselves, or is the app for me as the business? I think that's the question I'm trying to ask.
Okay, correct. Yeah, so it's both. It could be for both. Like the first time I gave it to my dad, he wanted to build a project task management tool for himself. So that was weird for me. I wasn't expecting that to be the case that he wanted to do, but he doesn't have, he's not a business owner. He's not an entrepreneur. So he just wanted to build an app for himself. That's okay. It's not meant to be for that purpose. It's more meant to be for your customers, your users, your fans. If you're a blogger or a podcaster, you can have an app with your content and your different feeds or social venues all in one single app, and then you promote that single point of URL to get everyone there.
Yeah, so it's driving back to a single point basically, rather than like having, say, I built an app which is like a task management app, for example. Could I then have sell my app in effect to lots of other people to use it for their own task management service, like away from me, or is it about me as the business owner? Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. That's when it becomes a tool. So that's what I was saying before,
Got you.
that it's not
Yeah.
meant to
Okay.
be
Okay.
like a tool. It could be a tool for yourself if you are okay
Yeah.
with having a minimum amount of functionality, because it's not meant for that. But if you want a task management app that can let you do flagging or different things, obviously there is out there way more tools, more apps that are for that purpose, and that's why we don't get into that realm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No. Cool. Cool. Okay. And just thinking about like what was the problem like that, or what is the problem for someone looking at this? Like, I want to build an app for my business. Um, let's just go and do it. Like, what are the challenges that you would come across trying to do this yourself, or maybe trying to get a team in like you did to actually build something versus you're using an app like yours? Like, where does the big value come from?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I did it, because I was first-handed seeing this problem, that it's hard to find good development teams, and that you can communicate what you want in a right manner so that they understand and make it right the first time. And it's also not cheap, right? Having a team to build something, and it also typically takes between 3 to 6 months, no matter how big the project might be. That's the minimum typically takes to build an app, if when you're building it with a team of developers. So it's a lot of cumbersome and things that a business owner, a typical business owner, doesn't have these skill sets or know where to find these developers or how to communicate and document in the right manner the business requirements of that app that he or she wants to build. And it's so many things, right? It's so much easier to just get your phone, go to the App Store or Google Play, download this app, and just start building it at any time. You could be even watching TV or something and building an app. within minutes, you can get something done very quickly and start enhancing it as you go.
Yeah, awesome. And so is it a free download to start with, or is that how does the payment?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
exactly. It's a free model, so everything is free. And then we have two apps in the App Store. One is called IGN Apps, which we're phasing it out. That's the legacy version that we built a decade ago. Now we have App Studio. In App Studio, everything is free. You only pay for unlocking all the screens, but you can still get screens unlocked individually by watching the videos or ads. And then also you can subscribe if you want to have your own icon on your app, right? So that's pretty much the hook to get subscribers and get people to pay for the product, but otherwise it's free.
That's awesome. I love that because I know I've not actually built apps on a phone, but I've definitely built out software through platforms like web-based stuff or learning management systems and for CRMs, etc. And you could be months down the line before you actually get anything usable. In my case, anyway, this sounds like it's a lot quicker. And just that frustration of basically paying on a monthly basis for something you're not getting any value from whatsoever. And in a couple of cases, we've been 6 months down the line, then we figured out it doesn't do what we need it to do, and then had to pull the plug. And we've been paying them the whole time. So I love the fact that you can actually build it out, test it out, see if it works for you, all for nothing. And then yeah, okay, you realize this is awesome, and then you get the option to subscribe and make it even better. So I love
Yeah,
that model.
that's a good point you bring, because I am now I left development to be more a designer in my career, and I am an expert more in the UI UX side of things. So the reason I build this app in the way that it's now is to make it even easier to choose just what you want. Don't have to be thinking on how to design a mobile app, right? Because it could be codeless. It could be, there are other platforms that are codeless, or you don't have to code anything, but you have to know how to build like blocks in a good manner, so that you end up looking an app that doesn't look like a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And that was the intent of our product, is to make it super easier, and you don't have to be even a designer to make it. So that's the biggest differentiator, and it's also portable. You do it all through your phone.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like it. I did a UI design way back when in university over 20 years ago. Something that I still love to this day. I don't do it per se for any part of my career, but I get incredibly frustrated when the UI of apps and things is just bad. And so yeah, I'm all for that. Cool. Show me some success stories. Like what kind, like some brilliant case studies you may have worked with over the years, some examples of clients that have just nailed it and see massive benefits from actually building out an app using your platform.
Yeah, let me give you two examples. One of them was one guy I met, even personally. I even went to Texas to meet him. He was a retired carpenter. He was doing kitchens all his life, wood related stuff. And then he decided to, because of his hands, he didn't want to get into another job that had to depend on so much in his hands. He wanted to build apps for other people. He was like 65, 70-year-old a person. And he was so amazed about our product. We started engaging. I started engaging with him personally, and then eventually he was going to introduce me an investor that he knew, a restaurant owner as well in the Texas area. I ended up flying and meeting both of them there, and that was a pretty impressive and exciting experience. He was building even an app for his church, which is also a niche that we have seen. A lot of churches are building apps with our platform, and pastors, because they can have their word and the message all in one place, and also be sending push notifications as well whenever they want to. So that's another area that we have seen organizations, nonprofit, and also events like sports teams that want to have an app for their children's uh, baseball team or any type of team, and the roster, and when is it going to be the next game, and the location and everything. They could be one single app. So yeah, we are very diversified into different types of niches. And another story we found, I had last year, I had the opportunity to meet in person in London when I was with my family there. But there was a guy very nearby my hotel where I was at, and I wanted to meet him in person because he had been a client. At that moment, he was a client for like 2 years, and I wanted to know what we were doing right and why he was still sticking with us. And it was very exciting and refreshing to hear from someone else, right? You always have your mental thoughts on how the business is going and what customers think, but when you hear from a customer, it's a very different experience. He was building an app for other people and other bigger companies that he wanted to provide an app with our tool, and we even were going to be starting to do some screens and even apps that were very specific to those clients as well. We do also custom development apps if that's a specific need, but we are intending to do it for the mass audience and the majority of the use cases, which is what we have talked about so far.
Yeah, cool. And where do you see the company like going, and how are you going to get there and grow it? And what are your aspirations, and what challenges have you already overcome maybe, and what challenges do you foresee in growing and scaling the business?
Yeah. So we have seen a lot of traction and growth in the AI space, and we want to take the business towards that direction. Not just by providing AI technology within the app building experience, but also adding and enhancing other areas that could be complementary to that experience or to your business in general, like generative AI for logo designs, or generative AI for imaging that you might need to have inside your app. And it's hard to get like without copyrights images online, or the right image that you want to portray in your app. Things of that nature. And also to be not just a single app business, we want to have a suite of apps that could be tailored and serving the type of audience that we serve, which are micro business owners, organizations, and events or teams.
Fantastic. And I've got to ask you before we finish up, what are your favorite apps, except for your own, obviously? What are your favorite apps, browser plugins, or tools that you use in your business?
Yeah, I always say the same one. I haven't seen anything other than this one that could up this one for me. I am a very I love cruising with my family, going into cruise ships, and I have to say that the Royal Caribbean app is the best one so far that I've experienced.
Well, just
Uh,
the experience of using it, you mean?
the experience of using it, yeah.
Okay, cool. And any other tool, like any useful productivity tools, or which like apps do you use in your business to help you run your business?
Well, Jira is one of the apps that I use on a daily basis, and I have seen them grow so much, especially from the UI UX side, right? They had a very good platform at the very since the beginning, right? But they have been enhancing the user experience so much to the point that now is pleasing to use with the Jira Cloud. Before it was so messy and so convoluted, but now I can say that it's one of my day-to-day apps. With my team, I have to manage all the tickets and all the things that we have to do.
I've got so is Jira, is this, you mentioned ticketing there? Do you use it? Is it Confluence? Is that part of the
Both, yeah.
same?
Confluence, yeah, it's part of the suite that they offer. Confluence is more for the documentation, which we also use, but not as often, not on a daily basis. Jira is more to put new tasks to developers and explain very well what is needed or what the bug might be. And then there's also ways to communicate and have comments back and forth with the developers working on it, to make clarifications or anything. You can attach images, attach links, attach videos even. And it's also prioritize it. You could put priority levels. You can assign to different people. You can have it in different statuses. There's so many different things you could do with that. If you use it well, it's a very good tool.
Okay, I guess it's primarily for software development. Is that
It
the
is now. It is now, but it used to be, believe it or not, it used to be at an IT task management platform for someone that calls over the phone and put a ticket,
yeah,
and
okay,
you need to close and make a resolution out of it. Yeah.
cool. Very last question for you, which I ask everybody that comes on. This podcast is called Systemize Your Success, but what does success mean to you?
Well, that's a good question. I guess success is when you have either two ways. Either you have a goal and you look at it and you see that you're getting there or you are already there. Or when you do a retrospective, even if you didn't have a goal, you do a retrospective of your life and you say, hey, I just did this. I just was able to achieve this. And maybe it wasn't even in your scope, maybe it wasn't even your goal, but you feel successful and achieved something that you are proud of.
Cool. Good answer. Norman, if people want to find out more about what you do and you obviously learn about your app, what is the best way for them to come and find you?
Yeah. So we have currently a couple of domains. Our legacy app, as I mentioned before, which is still available, but is eventually gonna phase out this year, is igenapps.com, igenapps.com. But our main product is App Studio. Our website would be apps-inc.com. And it's also available on the App Store and Google Play, so you can search by either App Studio or iGen Apps. I would suggest App Studio. Eventually, iGen Apps will be phased out, so don't even bother going with that one. Both do the same things. Both are very, very good. Obviously, App Studio is way better. It's more recent, more modern, more even faster, and has even slightly more features than the other one. So I would just go with App Studio if I was a listener.
Cool. Thank you very much indeed. Norman, thank you very much indeed for coming on today. It's been a pleasure to have you on, and yeah, I wish you all the best. Sounds amazing.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting.